Summertime. For many, it is a happy time, full of joy, adventure, water, and sun. For me, it is dreadful, the culmination of the calamities that spring announced to us with allergies, heat, and longer days. For me, since I don't have vacations, mostly because I don't have a job at the moment, it is the worst time of the year. The scorching heat of the city seems to never end. There are days when it is 9 o'clock at night and it is still hot. So much so that it makes you want to tear your skin off. When I was younger and more carefree, I would get together with friends to escape the heat or watch anime on VHS, English subtitled. And if you weren't fluent in Shakespeare's language, you're lost, bro. But this summer, without meaning to, I had something similar to holidays in February. In addition to writing my novel,
Yes, I'm writing a science fiction novel. And I want to publish it so bad. But it was harder than I thought. That's what she said.
I got productive miniature-wise and even got to scratch build a Tau Riptide. I named it the Cocktail Molotov. This video is that, a summary of what I did in January and February, in addition to trying to escape the unbearable heat in the city and in the southern hemisphere of the world due to the global warming. In February, I was invited to the Municipal Library of Renca to be part of the inaugural panel of the exhibition of tin soldiers manufactured by Mr. Ernesto Rivera Coloma and his family almost 50 years ago. The exhibit was beautiful, with soldiers, cowboys, Apaches, and boats hand-painted by Mr. Ernesto. I was lucky enough to be given an unpainted tin soldier and two already painted, a band leader and an Apache on horseback. I am not going to paint the tin soldier now because it is a relic that requires its own video and further research. During late January and early February, I was painting a commission, which were 3 von Ryan sleepers and 10 Hormagaunts from the Warhammer 40,000 Tyranny army. The color scheme of the leapers is that of the non-binary pride flag, and the color scheme of the Hormagaunts corresponds to the bisexual pride flag. With the leapers, I was able to apply the technique that rogue hobbies put on the reel, which is to paint pink first, and over the pink, yellow. It looks fantastic. This is the trick that has changed the most my way of painting from a while ago, because it really is a great trick. I went the extra mile with the leaper's base and painted it with the colors of the LGBTQIA+ pride flag in a gradient of colors. Covered the dried colors with PVA glue and when dry, covered with mordant earth. The floor took a crackle effect through which the colors underneath came through. I liked it a lot, and so did the client, which is the important thing. Then I followed with a miniature of mine, which was the new Astrolith Bearer model. I already had the old one and have it painted. I tried to make a non-metallic metal on the disc frame, but this time with the Scale 75 Boreal Lights and Solar Flares paint sets, I found a color scheme that made a lot of sense to me and that gave me more freedom to creatively explore this model, and I really appreciate it, because it was quite entertaining to paint. I will compare the result with the other model so that they are both in a video, and because I felt like it. long time ago, my friend Alyosha gave me an infinity pack called Xanadu Rush featuring Nomads versus Ariadna. Thing is, I had painted 3 of the 4 miniatures that come in this pack. I painted Billy, the lab technician, the hacker Jazz, and I had to paint Kadin First Strike Dawn. According to the pack's lore, Dawn and the lab technician are supposed to be trying to infiltrate the Nomad space station. Since it's a space station, I didn't want to paint Dawn completely green, but I painted his pants as for an urban environment, and I must admit, because I am very lazy and I was too lazy to do a camouflage with shades of green and beige, I prefer to do it in shades of gray because I already had the colors deposited in the wet palette. Then I got into engineering and a bit of arts and crafts and scratch built a custom Tau Riptide. I made it from these model kits and some other Gampla bits. I'm going to paint it later, not right away. I almost forgot to tell you that I painted this Pterodon and his rider or pilot, I don't know. Thing is that for the Pterodon, I used the color scheme of Aerodactyl from Pokemon, and for the rider or pilot, I used the color scheme of Zangoose, also from Pokemon. And finally, I painted this miniature that I had lying around. I don't know where it's from. I tried to look it up on the internet, but I didn't find anything. At first, I thought of painting her like Shiva from the Final Fantasy franchise, but it turns out that since I painted her skin blue, if I painted her hair blonde, a white hat, and silver sandals, she would look like a sexy Smurfette instead of a Final Fantasy character. I did the sensible thing and changed the color scheme. In my opinion, it was a good decision. Plus, it allowed me to experiment with non-human skin tones. And that's all, folks. Here are the finished miniatures for you to see. I hope you like them. Sorry if my pronunciation was not ideal, but I hope to improve in the future. I hope this is the first of many more videos in English. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as follow me and Witch Paints on social networks. I'm off to prepare the next video. Craft Daddy out.